These are the top 5 easy but killer Kyrie Irving moves. Let's get started. Okay, this first move is the mid-court fake cross. So he'll use this a lot of different ways. Sometimes there's like a screen or a pick coming for him over here, and he'll fake like he's gonna come towards that to use it, but sometimes he'll use it more just like as a retreat. And other times he just kind of looks like he's looking to just go to the mid-court to kind of, you know, read the court, maybe get into another gap over here. And right from this motion here, he's gonna have his chest facing this way. So what really helps set up this fake is face this way and then turn back this way and get your body turning in this direction. Make sure the eyes are looking over there. And then from there, well, a lot of times what's gonna happen is the defender's either gonna shift slightly this way, or a lot of times they're gonna think about fighting through the screen, or perhaps they just kind of go a little bit more chill and they kind of relax a little bit and they think, okay, he's just looking to set back up. So they're just kind of, you know, relax the arms, and maybe they'll shift over here just a little bit. And from here's where we want to get into the crossover. There's a couple keys you want to pay attention to. Number one, you want the hand with the basketball to be the hand that's towards the middle of the court, so that way when you turn back, it's further away from the defense, and you're going to set up an angle to drive this way. Doing it this way just doesn't make sense. It doesn't really get you to attack. And if I were to turn this way, I could use it to like fake like I'm maybe going to come that way and then come this way, but you're just going to find doing it facing more mid-court is going to work a lot better in a lot of situations, just because the defense wants to keep you out of the middle of the paint. So you turn back, you're a little more upright, and from there you want to drop down into a crossover. So it's almost like a regular crossover side to side, just like this. The only difference is, since our body's facing this way, we're going to get that crossover tight. The other thing you might want to think about is adding a little bit of wrist curl at the end to push it back this way, because if the defense is here, you don't want to push it right towards them. So adding that little wrist curl at the end will kind of direct it that way. So I'm facing this way, I dribble, I turn this way, I get into that crossover as I'm dropping down, curling the wrist maybe a little bit, and then I'm just gonna get downhill. Next move, he'll use a lot of different ways, and it's the inside out into the crossover. So he'll kind of mix up the footwork with this. I'm gonna show you the main way he does it, but sometimes he will jab with that opposite foot to get into that inside out dribble. Usually he's gonna do that pretty low, and then he'll get into the crossover from there. Sometimes he'll do just more of like a turn dribble, where he's mainly using the wrist and the same side foot as the hand that's dribbling. We'll step just out, so there's really less motion into it. And a lot of times, and this is the main way you'll usually see him do it, is he'll get kind of close to the defender, and there's not a lot of room to put the basketball out here. There's not a lot of room to bring it out here because the defense has their hands here. And if you step, you would also be putting the basketball in their space. So what he'll do is he'll just have his stance kind of wide here, and he'll just lean the shoulders a little bit, but notice the ball motion's more tight, right? Now, one big key to make all these moves effective is to make sure you got a good handle, right? Good ball control and good footwork and athleticism, good range of motion in your hips, really your entire body. And one thing that'll really help with that is the free workout that's pinned to the comments. Let's get into the breakdown though. So if you don't know the in and out dribble, basically your hand's gonna be here, you're gonna pull it over the top and pull it back out. So it kind of makes like a circular motion. So from that in and out, a lot of times he's just gonna get right into that cross by getting the hand back on the basketball low. So the more main way he does it, the feet are kind of wide, he's close to the defense, he just leans the shoulders and the hips into it a little bit, keeps the ball motion kind of tight here. So it's just basically the hand coming over the top of the ball, pushing it back out and getting a little fake, not a big one. Hand comes back on the ball low and then get into the crossover. Sometimes he will mix it up though, and he'll get a little wider and step into this fake a little bit more with this ball side step before getting into the crossover. So it's something you should definitely play around with and mix it up with, but the main way you'll see him do it is that right there. Just a little shoulder shift and get the hand back on the ball low so you can push it across real fast. Next two moves tie in with each other, and they might sound kind of flashy or difficult, but trust me, they're not. Just pay attention to what I'm doing and walk through it step by step. You'll get it down real quick. So it is the sham god, and the way he does it is a very specific way, which is the way we're gonna break down here. When he does the sham god, he really pushes the ball out there. So you wanna think about this in relationship to where the defense is. If I'm on defense here, then usually he's gonna start it more up here, but he's gonna really push it kind of out here. So it's in a space where it's past the defense's feet. So like, get the ball kind of here, but also wide enough that they have to try to recover. The other thing is he's pushing the basketball out, but he's keeping his body kind of moving with it. If you just push the basketball out and delay going after it, like a lot of people tend to think about the sham god, it's gonna leave it a lot more unprotected, and the defense doesn't see your body moving, so therefore they think, okay, that's a great opportunity to poke at the ball. So think about pushing it out there, but really getting after it right away. Don't really keep much separation between you and the basketball. As far as the footwork goes, whichever hand is pushing the basketball out, again, you're gonna push it out to that side, and you wanna step out with that same side foot to get to the basketball. What that's gonna do is open a lot of options for it, your footwork from there, but basically you wanna think about getting it with that opposite hand. So right hand push ball, right foot steps, left hand's gonna come get the basketball. And I want it over the top here on the other side so I can pull it back here. Now, some of the options I'll play around with is pulling it back, but more often than not, what you're gonna see him do is come from here and then get right downhill. So it almost amounts to almost like a flashy crossover, but the setup changes everything. Using this setup gives the defense a much different look. Plus, when you push it out here, you can really get some momentum into it, right? You can close that gap between you and the defense, or if the defense is tight to you, you could even think about pushing it past them, because now if the ball's going past me, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna get after that basketball. And that's where he gets a lot of defenders, because when he really pushes it out there, they have to move that way. And by the time they realize that he's gonna come back this way, it's too late, because everything's moving this way. When you come across with the hand here, it looks like you're even gonna move more here this way. And now, right as the moment I'm about to come this way, it looks like I'm coming this way, and he gets a lot of ankles with that. I think the key to really getting the sham guard down and doing it well is making sure that you're doing all the little details right with the step, the correct foot, and then coming across the opposite hand. Rewatch everything I broke down if you really having a hard time with it, and do it slow at first. And then if you go slow, it's actually gonna be faster to learn it. The next move though is a counter of that. It's the fake sham guard kill. So with the fake sham guard kill, we're doing everything the same. Everything on that setup, right hand, right foot, left hand, all that remains exactly the same. The difference is you want to think about getting the basketball a little lower with the left hand instead of getting it quite so high. And all you're gonna do is push it straight down. And of course you can use this to just get the ball back with the right hand again and keep driving right. Of course, everything in this video you can flip around. I recommend you do that and work on it with both hands. But this also opens some options for some tough counter moves and things like that, getting into a crossover if you want to get a little more creative. But again, this is more easy Kyrie moves. So again, this might look difficult, but you're literally just going like this. If you think about it that way, it's just left, right, left, pushing it straight up and down. It's really that with some added footwork. You're pushing it out a little further, stepping, and then just doing that quick tap and getting it with the other hand, and just thinking about tapping with that opposite hand a little lower. Next move is so simple, but there's so much we can do with it, and it is the Smitty. Now, he has his own little variation of how he does the Smitty, though. A lot of defenders will use the Smitty to kind of act like they're gonna come back and retreat, or, you know, maybe go into a spin move. He does his super nonchalant, and then he's got a lot of tough counters out of it. I'll go over some of the options real quickly. But basically, he's gonna go from low attacks, and then all of a sudden he'll just come real upright, and he just turns his body. It's literally that simple. So almost like a slight protection, but he's usually very upright when he does this. And that's the key right there. Get yourself upright, because what that's going to do to the defense is make them think, okay, well, if he's upright, he's not going to do anything. So then they're down here, and all of a sudden they just chill, they relax. That's exactly where you're going to get them, because once you get them to relax, that's when you can a lot of times just blow right by them. So it's that simple, turning and blowing by them. But some defenders are going to be ready for that, and that's where the counters come into place. So a lot of times he's going to come from this, square his shoulders back to the defense, usually by stepping here, but a lot of times it'll be kind of more almost like a little turn with both the feet, and it'll end up being, if the right foot's forward, it'll be a quick right left. But you might want to just think about it as trying to land same time, and it'll probably naturally work out that way. And then from there, you can get into a nice fake this way and come into a lot of different crossovers here, like that. You can come here, get into a behind the back. You can come from here, get into a between the legs, here, a reverse between the legs, or even here, get into a spin move. A big key on this, whether you're looking to attack or fake this way, is to make sure you're dropping down though. So if I'm gonna drive this way, I'm gonna drop down so I got my shoulder nice and low, or if I'm gonna get into that crossover, I'm gonna lean into that direction, drop the shoulders down. Now, obviously, this is just the start to Kyrie Irving's bag of moves. If you want to see more, check out this video or this video. And if you want to take your handles next level, grab that free workout pinned to the comments.